Coach, just coming off the last weekend, 2-day weekend, with all the events, just overall thoughts on the weekend and the game.
You know what? The two main things I want to hit on is one is just give a shout out to our facilities people. I mean, what they did with that field, anyone that was there that actually got to see it and pushing off 1.2 million gallons of water and working all night long to let the game happen. It was an unbelievable job by them, our administration, and I want to say thank you to them. As far as us, I was extremely disappointed in the outcome, obviously. You know, there were some bright spots. I thought our defense played well. I thought our run game was solid again. Special teams was solid overall. But, you know, offensively, finishing drives is going to be something we need to continue to work on. And you know, we're on it today. We're back at it working and continuing a process of building this team strong enough to make it through a run in this league.
What's the vibe of the team like today?
Great. I mean, it was, well, angry. You know, a good angry. I don't know how to explain that. You know, everyone's kind of got knot in their stomach, you know. And I didn't know how it was going to turn into. Obviously, Monday was their day off now. So we're short a day. And today's practice was one of our best of the year, you know. So it was good. They got a chip on their shoulder, and they're upset with the way we played. And we all kind of got together and had a team meeting like we always do. It took ownership in the good and the bad, and tried to grow from it. We always say losing is learning and winning is the expectation, and this is one that we got to learn from.
Coach, do you think, I'm sure the players, coaches, everybody's looking forward to playing in front of a big homecoming crowd, and the fact that really didn't materialize in the stands were, you know, we just had a couple of stuff from there Sunday.
Yeah.
Did that play into it at all, do you think, because the kids, you know, get charged up?
Well, it helps. It always helps when we have Waldo behind, when we have 20,000 people behind us, we play better. You know what I mean? We've been really talking a lot in our room about just our energy on the sideline on the road, you know, and with it being kind of like some of our road games, you know, that's no excuse whatsoever, because that's something this weekend we got to work on as well. But yeah, anytime you get the craziness of Waldo Stadium going, you know, what it does is help momentum, and momentum, especially for a young team. We got some young pieces of it, you know, we have some great pieces of it. We got some young pieces. Momentum is everything on the sideline. As a coach, when you're making a decision, it's how can we get it, and when you can get it, when you have it, how long can you keep it? I think Ball State might have been the only game I've ever been a part of that it stayed on our sideline the entire game, which is not normal. Normally it's going to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and we always say ride the highs and escape the lows, you know. And we obviously didn't do a good job of escaping the lows. We were in a lull, and then defense got the pick. We scored, and then I thought we kept it the rest of the game. We just ran out of time. We got it back with like 12 minutes left, and we didn't have enough time to score enough. But yeah, that momentum in a game, especially with the young team, it really does. It helps, you know. But that's no excuse for what happened.
Have you rethought at all your decision to kick the extra point instead of going for two?
Yeah. I mean, I told my team this morning that I can give them 8,000 reasons why I chose what I did. You know, I wasn't going to explain it to them. But I went for it on 4th and 2 once on the first drive that I thought we needed that momentum. If we score on the first drive of the second half, I think it's a different game. And then going for 2, when you look at the end and you lose by 1, you're like, yeah, we should have gone for 2. You know, at the time, I've been through so many times where you score a touchdown, you finally get the momentum after 3 quarters of not having it, and then by not getting the 2-point conversion, you give it right back. That was my fear, you know. And that's why we just kicked it, you know. And I knew we were going to be down there a couple more times, which we were. We just didn't do anything with it, you know, because our defense was playing so well. If they were going on long drives on us, I probably would have gone for it. You know, we kind of went through our defense is playing well, we're going to get it. We need to keep this momentum because we've worked for 3 quarters to get it, and we got it now. Defense got it for us. John and D. Eskridge took care of the rest, you know, and we had it rolling at that point. It was eerily similar to me of the Idaho game. I went in the defensive huddle right before and said, hey, this is pretty much the same deficit as we were down before. And then Obi got the pick. You know, I said, we got to get one. And sure enough, 2 plays later, Asante gets one. We go down, score, and that's kind of what I thought was happening. I thought, here we go, now we got it. You know, so yes, you know, once you hindsight's 20/20, but that's the first thing you do is everyone in the locker room needs to look at themselves first. So I look at me first, and those are really the two things looking back. Since you lose by one, I was like, man, I wish I would have put Josh out there to kick the one in the third quarter, and I wish I would have given it a shot to get the two. Yeah.
Coach Darius, mid-season All-America, I think. I don't know if you saw it this morning. I don't think
No.
anybody disputes that he should be. Why has he been so good?
Well, he's so dynamic. He's battling a little bit of injury right now, but I think he's almost back to 100% healthy. That's why we haven't been, putting him on offense as much. He asked me today for the first time, when are you going to put me back there? I said, go get an interception and we'll talk. And then he had a one-handed catch today in practice, an interception that was one of the most prettiest things ever. So he's getting back to healthy, but what he's been able to do in 4 touches on offense and in all his touches on special teams, he is a special player. I think everyone gets it, because anytime you get a stadium where the moment the ball's touches his hands, everyone kind of holds their breath for a minute to see what he's going to do. One of his punt returns this week, he split the first line. And the first thing that went through my head is he's gone, not just what you assume, And so it's well deserved, and we got a long way to go. And he's continuing to get healthy again, because he's banged up there for a couple of weeks, but he hasn't been banged up for 2 weeks now. He's getting stronger and running full speed in practice, which is going to help his game speed for sure.
Speaking of banged up, Coach, can you give us an update on injuries, specifically Devontae?
Yeah, Bellamy. He's booted up right now. He's going to be off non-weight bearing for at least a week, and then we're going to revisit it. So I don't know if it's a season-ending injury yet. It will all be, but he's not weight bearing right now. And then Asu will be interesting. Asu is a guy who he got banged up, and it's a head injury, and he's going through the protocol. And with a short week, that doesn't help. But he's not ruled out yet.
Tucker seems like the next logical guy in that lineup, but how about Falcon?
Falcon just got cleared last week, so he's moving around. He's still got the brace on. He's not moving like he did in the spring yet, but he's really close. So we have both those guys that are kind of battling right now to see who's going to get if we get to 3 and when we get to 3, who's going to be that guy. And it's been fun to watch Matt fight through another injury from training camp to now, and I've been proud of the way he's attacked it every single day and getting his weight under control. It's hard for him because he hadn't been moving around much for months, and he looks good now. So it'll be fun to see as we get through this week of practice, which guy's the guy, or maybe both, depending on how the game unfolds.
What are some unique things that Matt brings to the offense?
Falcon?
Yeah.
He has unbelievable. I haven't seen it all yet. I've watched his high school film. You know what I mean? He is a big. You guys think Jarv's big. He's bigger than Jarv. He's like 10, 15 pounds bigger than Jarv, And he's really fast, straight line, And he's kind of it's weird because I kind of think he's like a combination of Jamari and Jarvian put together. When I saw him in the spring, and he was as healthy as I've seen him, and really just the last week, because he moves sideways like Jamari does, but he has the speed and the size of Jarvian. You know what I mean? So. Just hasn't played in a long time. There's going to be rust that we need to knock off of him, So, and really, just trying to protect the knee. He's been cleared. It's strong. He's begging to not wear the brace, but doctors are saying he needs to wear a brace, and I want him to wear a brace, And but he's excited, and he's been working hard. He's been working hard for months and months just to get a chance to come back, and now we start putting him in special teams last week. He was on the 2 deep, but he was officially cleared to go as of last week by the doctors.
And as far as Russ goes, is it him seeing the hole or reading his blockers, or what do you think is going to?
Yeah, he just needs to change direction. A ton of times get hit. We've hit him a little bit, We don't hit a ton in practice, and hitting is normally part of the getting released from the doctor part, So we have to normally bring one of our red shirt linebackers and say, go hit him. It's kind of weird. Just 2 guys just hitting each other randomly, and. So he's gonna have to get in there and know the plays and know the signals, and he's done a good job so far. He hasn't had a huge chunk of it yet. He's getting to play here and there. It's different when you get 10 plays in a row. G2's done a great job with his stamina, so I think he's in pretty good, as good a non-football shape as you can be in without playing it. You know what I mean? So we'll have to make sure as we use him, we have to ease him into it. It might be special teams first. Hey, go run down on a kickoff. hey, block someone on a kickoff return, just to ease them into one, college football, and two, off an injury.
Coach, I watched some tape I watched the Eastern Michigan Army game. Rogan Roback, he can make all the throws.
Oh, he's good.
Talk about the kind of problems we present for our secondary and our pass rushing.
Yeah, it's the best Eastern Michigan team I've ever seen on film. I've played them plenty of times. I haven't really studied them in the last couple of years like I've been able to the last 24 hours, really. But it's the best Eastern team I've seen. I mean, this kid can throw it. He's got senior receivers that do a great job. He can make every throw. He's not afraid to use the field, which is a rarity in college football, a guy that can get it out to the field to number one, Everyone uses the boundary in the slot, but using that field number one is the only certain guys have the ability to do that, And I've watched him. I watched him last year. The one game I got to watch him last year was a Ball State game where it came down to a 2-minute drill and he marched his team down. He's got great moxie to him. And I think he's definitely the leader of that offense. And when I think of great quarter, I think of Charlie Batch because when I played against him, I don't know if he's got the cannon like Charlie had a whole different level cannon, but he's along those lines of a leader. And they're explosive because you have enough senior wideouts in a senior quarter or in a quarterback that was a second or third year maybe. They're dangerous. And defensively they're number one in the league. They fly around. It's the closest thing to Michigan State we've seen, as far as the way their safeties come down and play. That their corners are going to be up in your face. The effort and the pursuit to the ball is the best I've seen. Other than maybe Michigan State and. So it's going to be a great challenge. We got to bounce back from all the things we did wrong, and we're going to face a really. I told him this morning, this is the best 2-4 team in the country, without question. They've lost 1 by 1, 1 by 3, 1 by 5, 1 by 7. Those are their losses, and they beat Rutgers. So this is a really, really good football team, and so we got work cut out for us.
I apologize if you already answered this one. You mentioned injuries as one factor. Going into a rivalry game, what other challenges are presented to you with such a short week to
Yeah, the biggest thing is the getting our bodies back. That just getting them fresh and watching. The coaches are a little bit behind. Sundays normally would have been all Eastern all day. Instead, it was a game. It was game day. So, the best. I hate to say this, but the best thing is that what happened after last Saturday, our guys are hungrier than ever. They got a chip on their shoulder, which helps us in a short week. They are always excited to play Eastern, but I know they all have a bad taste in their mouth with the way the last game went. But that's really the biggest thing is making sure you're getting all the plays in, but you're also not pounding their bodies because they're going to have to play in a 6-game window, which is a very unique formula, And so, luckily, we gave them a day off. I always err on the side of getting their bodies back because we have seniors all over the place that do a good job of making sure the team around them, our leadership council, does a good job. So instead of keeping my thumb on them and erring on the side of running them too much or running too many plays in practice, we are on the side of making sure we have the freshest players we possibly can on Saturday, and doing a lot more walkthrough. Our Thursday practice will be a walkthrough, and we'll run. It ain't just like a normal walkthrough. It's a 45-minute, we're going to run 60, 70 plays, but it'll be all walking, So that'll help them get the reps they need to be mentally ready, but not do a toll on their bodies.
Kind of staying right there, you look at the stats, and you guys are just almost polar opposites on offense. They're number one in the league in passing, you're number one in the league in rushing, they're at the bottom. How does a week like that compare to a week when you're preparing for a team that plays the same style as you?
The weeks, it depends on what end of the field you're on. I think for defenses now, everyone seems to run quarters or a base quarter. So for the offensive, it's not much different, Though I think this team, they swarm. I think their effort is different than most. But it's definitely different on the defensive side. When a team is 65, 70% pass, and they got a guy back there that can throw it, you got to be ready for every pass combination known to man. But teams that don't throw it much, they don't throw a lot of different pass concepts. They get good at like 5 or 6 of them and they go with it. Whereas, speaking from experience, when we threw the ball a lot, we'd have 60 different pass combinations. You know what I mean? And luckily for us, Sam Beal's back. you know. He was cleared right before the game last week. Didn't think it was smart to play him. You know, he's a guy that needs reps, and he didn't practice at all, but he was cleared. So it'll be great to have him back and really have our secondary, because we're going to need it against this team. We're going to need everybody healthy and ready to go. But definitely having him back and having the time to just really focus on all their different concepts will help us, you know. And really going through what we went through at Buffalo will help us, because we went through, they threw it, I don't even know how many times, a lot. Let's put it that way. And so it's definitely going to be a little bit longer 7-on-7s on weeks like this for them. You know, I give them the same amount of time, but Coach Douse will use his time where he needs to, and will be a big 7-on-7 week. And we took some of our players over there and did some scouts, like some of our travel team guys over to them to run some scout 7-on-7, just so they got Reese throwing some balls at them with our backup wide receivers and not our third and fourth string wide receivers. So just trying to give them the cleanest look possible when you're going against a team this talented.
Coach, a couple questions about Darius. Do you plan to match him up against Sergio Bailey on Saturday? And also, do you think Bellamy's injury kind of opens a spot for him on offense to handle maybe some of the sweeps or some of the plays that Bellamy has?
Probably not. I don't want him to get hit like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. When I think about Darius, my first thing is making sure he's an unbelievable returner and corner. And everything else is bonus. You know what I mean? So we've done a good job of getting his hands on the more often than that 2-game stretch where he wasn't getting the ball in his hands. You know, he hadn't done anything yet with it, but as we all know, the more it happens, you just sit back and wait, you know. But yeah, I can't imagine putting it, maybe like a jet sweep or something, just something on the edges. I don't want him going in the A gaps and the B gaps and be getting hit from all different angles. That's something that eventually is going to hurt our defense and our special teams, which is not something we need to do. You know what I mean? So that's really, you know, with that injury, it's really about him being healthy and getting him into space on offense, not so much running through the offensive line. That make sense?
Does he have a side of the field that is he just Sam, or does he shadow
Sergio?
No, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because he was asking.
Yeah, you know, and we don't plan on that right now, you know, because right now we're fielding boundary, you know, and both of them, we flipped though two at times with the injury. Everyone has learned both sides, you know what I mean? So we now have the variety to do anything we want, you know. Darius for us is normally when we went right and left, Darius was on the right, Sam was on the left, you know, and that when we did that, we were most comfortable. Then when Darius got hurt, and then we started flipping it around, and then Beal got hurt, so we started flipping it around again. So I think Darius is more comfortable on the right, and Beal's more comfortable on the left. But if we end up feeling like we're getting hurt by one guy, you know, I don't know which one we put. I think Sam is, with Sam's length, you know, he might be just as good a cover guy as Darius. You know, his ball skills and his chance. You know, I don't know if there's anyone on the team that gets his hand on a ball better than Darius. But as far as the coverage skills, I think they're pretty much even. So if I can keep them on the side they're more comfortable, we'll do that. If one of them proves not to be able to do it, we'll make the adjustment. Because of injury, we've been forced to make the adjustment. So we're, I guess, prepared for that if it were to happen.
Caleb, just starting off, talk about just kind of the unusualness of this past weekend, obviously the rain and then the game moving to Sunday.
Yeah, Coach told us it was a great opportunity to be playing on Sunday, so we wanted to come out and bring the energy. The Saturday was very different for us, 1 million gallons of water being vacuumed out of the stadium, so it was very different. Being stuck in the locker room for a few hours, that was very different for us too. But we tried to keep the upside about it, so being in the locker room at the same time was pretty fun.
Caleb, you were recruited, I think, by PJ Flex. Can you talk about your recruiting process and why you decided to come to Western?
Yeah, my recruiting process was very different. I don't think a lot of people know about this, but my mom and I had a little bit of differences, and I didn't get to talk to many coaches. And by the time Coach Fleck came along, Coach McGargle had called me, and we had a very great understanding. I came to Western. I loved it there. I love Coach Fleck. You know what I'm saying? I love Coach McGargle. I love the guys I was around. So after that, I just fell in love. So I just wanted to be there, be at Kalamazoo with my friends.
Can you talk about, you played with Robert Spillane and Asante now for 3 years. Well, Sante, because he was a safety. But the fact that you three guys have been together as long as you have and understand each other, can you talk about, because we had Asante last week, about playing with those guys and understanding what each other's doing?
Yeah. Sometimes we don't have to communicate. We know what each other's thinking all the time. We know the defense so well, and we know each other so well that it's easy to be able to know how he's going to fit a certain way, how close and how fast he's going to get there, what angles to take off of just seeing who's in front of you and knowing who's on the side of you. And it gives us great knowing that we can just depend on each other. And not a lot of teams can do that, but I feel like that's what makes a part of our linebacker core different from everyone else's.
What's the biggest challenge Eastern presents on offense?
The way they mix up their game, the run game, and honestly, what gave us a lot of trouble last year was the quarterback scrambling. He does a nice job in the pocket, but he also does a nice job rolling out of the pocket. And, you know, being the second contained player and be able to linebackers be on the floor outside and DBs be able to make sure the coverage down the field is still locked down is very tough.
What are some unique challenges that you as a linebacker or your linebacking unit has to face against a team that passes the ball so much?
I don't know if it just faces new challenges, but just challenges you have to make sure you stay focused on, like getting your hands on the receivers, making sure you can help out the safeties, but with communication, always knowing what coverage you need to be in, stuff like that. So I wouldn't say it's new challenges, but the little small things that we just need to work on.
Caleb, has it struck you yet that you're in your senior year and you're kind of winding down? You've been here for a while now.
Coach Lester just took.
Has it started to sink in yet?
Yeah, I feel like today just sinking the most. Coach Lester just told us like this morning that it's week 8 already. And so just knowing that a few more opportunities in front of you, that's not guaranteed, that we have to go out there and earn still and stuff like that. So I feel like it really just hit me today.
You played on the gray turf before too. What's that experience like?
It's different. I feel like the sidelines are so far, and it's a very focused game. I feel like it's a game you have to be more focused on because part 1 is a rivalry. Part 2 is just, I don't know, it's just something about it. So you have to be locked in that much better.